I think we are live right now.
Okay.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Yeah, and with me this morning is Harriet Wisdom. So great to see you, Mom. I'm glad. I'm glad that you're here today. So let's see. Uh, I uh, I got to do a couple of quick announcements so that way we're all that way we take care of all of our uh, responsibilities here, right? So let me read my introduction script. Okay, so all right, yeah, thank you for tuning in. This is Drawing for Tattooers. I'm James Wisdom, and this show is about drawing and hopefully what it can do for you as an artist and what it can do for you, what drawing can do for you as far as your tattooing practice goes. So so glad that you're here with us this morning. Um, let's see, it's Monday, August 8th. It's 8:01 a.m. in Central Standard Time, 9 a.m. on the East Coast, right? And uh that's our home time. So if this is working for you, let me know in the comments in the chat. But I already have a guest, so I know that I know that we're doing well. So these streams are going out to different places. So yeah, we'd love to hear where you're from and what you think. So um, your constructive feedback is appreciated. Ooh, let me admit. Cool. We have another guest this morning. Good morning, Elise.
Hello. Sorry.
Hi. So great to see you this morning.
Yeah.
You're our second guest today, right? So I've got Harriet Wisdom, my mom, and Mom, this is Elise. She's gonna
Hi,
be
Elise.
she's a fantastic artist and
Oh,
gonna join us today. So yeah, so excited for you both to be here. All right, so yeah, welcome to Guy Atchison's Reinventing the Tattoo community, where tattooers, apprentices, collectors, and the curious are encouraged to join these live streams, these real world events, and inspire and ultimately create better art and tattoos together. So we beam out nearly every day, and with your help, we have evolved into a quality network of amazing live and on-demand tattoo and art shows that have been receiving rave reviews. Elise, I'm just going through and reading some introductory stuff, and then we'll get started in just a minute. Um, all right. You can get the Reinventing the Tattoo app at both the App Store, the Apple App Store, and the Google Play Store. Um, you can also beam these streams from YouTube, Facebook, or on the Roku channel, reinventingthetattoo.com/Roku, or search listen to the podcast in your usual places, Apple, Spotify. Um, and so let's see. So if you're in the Zoom group, I think it's actually on the Reinventing the Tattoo website at the calendar. If anyone's out there and watching this, if you want to zoom in, you can click the link and you should be able to get in here too, right? Um, so we have so many shows. I really want to just encourage you to check out reinventingthetattoo.com, and there's links all over the place to all kinds of fun things, right? So uh, let's see. All right. So on Sundays, 1 p.m. Eastern, we have Reinventing Drawing Group with Jason Leeser. 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, Drawing for Tattooers with James Wisdom. That's me. 11 a.m. The Tattoo Weekly. At 5 p.m., Let's Talk About Feelings with Robbie Ripple. At 9 p.m. on Mondays, we've got the subscribers exclusive with Guy Atchison. On Tuesdays at 10 a.m., we've got Ricardo Sturdivant's show. On Wednesdays, the Tattoo Now show. On Thursdays, the Tattoo Collecting 101 podcast. So all like really amazing lineup of content. So check it out. Let's see. So yeah, so we want to thank some of our sponsors. Raw Pigments Ink Company. It's tapping into the source. Rawpigments.co. WorldTattooEvents.com, largest, most comprehensive resource for tattoo events worldwide. Lots of updates and conventions are rescheduling like crazy, right? DLize Pro, known as Dermalize Worldwide. Protect your art. If you're still using Saran wrap, watch the videos of tattooers and to see what this is all about. Tattoo Now, this is technology for tattooers, the leading edge in SEO and professional development for tattooers at all levels. Who it's now accepting clients, so contact Gabe at tattoonow.com. And of course, we want to thank Guy Aitchison, the founder and inspiration behind Reinventing the Tattoo. His new book, the Bio Encyclopedia. It's amazing. And of course, DVDs, they're all real good. So much content, so much knowledge. You got machines, paintings. So countless thanks to Guy Aitchison. All right. So let's see here. Yeah, leave your positive reviews. And yeah, I think that's it for that part. Thanks everybody for hanging in there with me. Yeah, I just really wanted to I gotta get better at like at reading these things. So yeah, so all right. Good morning. And I'm so glad you could all come. And if you're out there watching this, I'm so glad you can come too. We're gonna draw today. We're gonna talk about tattoos as well, just a little bit. So it's a tattoo themed drawing show, so I figured I could like include a little bit of that. Um, uh, we're gonna go through some drawing exercises in just a little bit. So if you got a pen and or a pencil and paper, you can draw along. Also, if you're just using your iPad, that's fine too. So digital or analog, whatever works for you, feel free. I'm gonna be drawing on paper today, because I love my iPad, but every once in a while I think every once in a while I think it's really good to get a piece of paper and draw that way. So all right, so I wanted to quickly just sort of I wanted to feature a tattoo artist that I really love their work. So let me see if I can share my screen with you. All right. Okay, cool. Can you see my screen? Yeah, great. So I'm on Instagram, Noon Kamikaze. This is the work of Noon, and so he's a tattooer from France, but all over Europe. So let's check out some of it. Like so this one, cool. It's really beautiful, I think. I think it's just these powerful lines and the sort of abstracted geometry. It really is. They really are unique, I think. There's not a lot of tattooers that are doing this sort of thing. So I really wanted to to highlight some of this work. Let's see. Here's some process, right? Some of the process of Noon. Cool. So totally freehand drawing here, and then this is wonderful scene, trees, and looks like some sort of maybe a church or a building of some sort or another. But it really seems to fit this body quite well. So if you're not familiar with this artist, I definitely, I recommend checking him out. I've been following him following his career for several years, and I've always really enjoyed, seeing this creative application. It's really it's a really unique take on tattooing, right? So we'll check out this one. Beautiful. It looks like there's an example here of, of his work as well, sort of healed up, and it's solid. It is really, rich, and just a playful and beautiful design. And so, yeah, check out Noon. It's so on Instagram, it's Noon Kamikaze. So, and then also, if there's some tattooers that you really like to see their work, you know, feel free to share in the comments, or or come back next time, right? And we'll love to feature the work of quality tattooers. So it's gorgeous. Cool. All right. So, all right, we're back. That was a treat. So I really hope you enjoyed it. Okay. Well, I also I prepared a a PDF to sort of go over the lesson for today, and I'm hoping that we can, I'll try to make it as smooth as I can. It's I think it may be a little bit of back and forth. I may sort of share my screen and stop it, but I'm hoping that we'll get the point, or we'll get the hang of it, I guess, as we go. So, all right, let me share my screen. Of course, it's at the end. So, all right, of course. Let's see. Sorry. Okay. Can you see my screen? Drawing exercises, hopefully. Thank you so much. Great. Drawing exercises. Uh, a consistent drawing routine is vital to an artist's practice. Drawing is a physical act, and I gotta move my screen a little bit here. And the repetition of poor techniques can lead to physical strain, injury, and inefficiency. Conversely, consistently practicing effective techniques will help ensure a lifetime of drawing mastery. Often, our insecurity prohibits the relearning of skills we feel confident about. Tragically, many drawing techniques do not consider drawing's physical dimension and sacrifice the artist's body, most often the wrist, for the sake of an aesthetic pursuit. I hope that makes sense. So if you draw a lot, and you're not thinking about yourself, right? You're not thinking about, like, how you're using your body to do this drawing, it can lead to issues, right? It can lead to physical issues. So, right. So I listed some drawing elements here: line, shape, value, media, concept, and intelligibility. The scale of drawing ranges from the finest micro movements of the muscles to the largest possible sweep that a body can make. Right. So pay attention to your posture, and draw with your entire body. I like to say mostly with your arms, and as least as possible with your wrists. Right. Your movements should form a complement to your body, and avoid those that result from the neglect of allowing your body to become static, a slouched posture, and willing too much of the workload to the wrists. I think really what I'm trying to say here is, just consider yourself. Really think about how you care for yourself. Really important. Not to say that the way you draw is wrong, but think about it, right? Just think about how you're doing it, and um, put that into your practice. And I really think that it's really going to be beneficial for you. Ooh. All right. Okay, so here's the first one, right? Drawing vertical lines. So if I stop my share, I can I can get up and draw with you a bit. Let's see here. I was practicing getting ready for the show, so doing some sketching. And I like to sort of keep in mind that, doing drawing practice is it's not about perfection. It really is about, trying to practice and trying to get the most out of how you're doing it. So uh, um, if you uh, if you want, you can practice the vertical lines with me, right? So that's the first one that we're going to do is vertical lines. So let's just do 10 of them to sort of get warmed up, and then we'll do the next one, right? So again, like, if as much as you can, this is the place to practice, right? When you're really drawing something that's, there's a lot more at stake, you might be really focused on, on that thing. But right now we can focus on the exercise part. So let's try it, right? Let's just try your best to make as whatever your size of your paper is, right? Let's just see how it goes, right? All right, so I'm just going to start with a vertical. Great. And I'm doing it pretty badly, right? Don't do as I'm doing. I really want to encourage you to keep an eye on where your drawing implement is as you're doing it, right? Let's just do it. Let's just do 10 of these, right? You try to keep an eye on where your pen is going. I'm going to try to stand out of the way a bit if I can, so you can draw along with me. Just nice and steady. Think about your posture. Think about your posture, not to, not to be pretentious about it, but think about your posture so that way you can actually, get the most out of the movements of your body. And consider your breathing as well. Just focus on nice, steady breathing. Right? If you're hyperventilating while you're doing this, your your practice can go askew, right? Your drawings can get all tight. So how many is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Don't let them touch. And 10. Right on. Excellent. So I've allowed these to sort of get closer together. I think that can be in a really effective way to sort of, to sort of generate drawings, to generate value. And so again, I like to try to make things that are practical for students. So all right, let's go back. We'll check out the next one. All right, so vertical lines, we did it. Horizontal, right? So again, you can do either, freehand, or you can trace over ruler drawn lines. I think it's basically impossible to really trace over a ruler drawn line and get it really accurately, but it's a good practice. Challenge yourself. Um, right. So I'll leave the share on right now, and I'm just going to practice. We'll go 10 horizontal lines, and so let's give that a go. And I'm gonna switch my color because I think it ends up becoming so interesting with multiple colors. All right, so let's do 10 of these. Again, as long as wide as your media will allow you. So uh, yeah. Again, this is practice. This is about practicing. So don't worry about it being perfect. 7, 8, and 9. Terrific. All right. So, oh, 10, right? 10. Cool. All righty. Switch to the next ones. All right, so diagonal lines, right? I have sort of shaped these lines going all over the place because diagonal really can be, just anything that's not the vertical or the horizontal, right? So let's give that we'll give that one a try as well, right? So, and I will stop my share so I can draw with you. Right, so this is what I've got so far. Again, it's practice, everybody, it's practice. So, all right, some diagonal ones. And 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Cool, right? So um, whenever I do these, there's always some sort of really interesting kind of pattern that sort of emerges out of it. And I think it's again, it is practice. It's not meant to have, this aesthetic quality, but I think that, the aesthetic quality can emerge right out of your, sort of out of your careful drawing. So anyway, let's see what the next one is. I made a list of different exercises, really practical ones. So let's see what's next on the list. Sketch a square. So this is one that we've certainly done before on the show, but I think it's really nice to include it here in this list of exercises. And so I'm gonna grab a new sheet of paper. Excellent. Cool. All right. So how I like to do this exercise is just really kind of practicing. Of course, we did our vertical and our horizontal lines, but now we're really trying to associate, or we're trying to relate this vertical and horizontal and a diagonal, to particular relationship, right? So we'll do a vertical line, right? And then we'll do a horizontal line. Yep. And then what I want to go for, remember, if you'll recall, or I think you can look back at episode 1 or 2. Want to try to achieve a 45-degree angle. So I want a diagonal line that's gonna cross over this vertical and horizontal line at 45 degrees. So I'll try my best. It's pretty close, right? So hopefully we've got a right angle here, right? And then hopefully we've got roughly 45 degrees there. 45 degrees is half of 90, right? What this gives us is the same rise over run. And so that way we know that these are, the equal. So let's see how we do. So let's go up. Again, try to be as vertical as you can. And that's okay. And horizontal. right on, right? So sketching a square, I mean, obviously, there are drawing tools out there. There's rulers and stuff, but I think it's nice. I really think it's nice to be able to, sort of calmly sort of sketch out this square and see if, see how square it is. But then also, it can be really great for sketching, right? Especially if you want to create thumbnails or something, you're working on paper or on the iPad. You sketch out a few squares and they can be square, right? Instead of, this one's a little more, this one's really a rectangle or whatever. This sort of thing, this sort of practice uh, can help you, I think, achieve that, a lot better. So, all right, let's check the next exercise. So go to the share. Cool. Look for symmetry, right? I think that's going to be helpful. Sketching circles. Okay. So, I think that this can be a really fun exercise to do. And there's a lot of different ways that you can go about it. Of course, you can just start sketching and trying to make a circle. But there is, I think, a really fun way to go about it, and that's this game right here. So that's this game right here. Let me stop sharing. Oops. Hopefully it looks like a shoe. I don't know, but it's a circle and a shoe game, right? So draw some weird shape. It could be a shoe. Uh, I don't know what mine. Maybe it looks like more of an alligator face or something. But whatever, right? Draw something fun that you enjoy, and try to put some circles in it, right? So I'm gonna give that a shot. So I've got my shape here, and yours can be whatever you like, but circle in a shoe. So I want to try to draw as much of a circle, as big of a circle as I can. I'll start over here by the toe. Ooh, going for a circle. That's what I'm hoping for. Rough. All right, so circle. Here's another spot for as big a one as I can possibly do. I get it. Not very circular yet, but that's the part of the fun, right? That's a part of the game. All right, so there's a circle there. So how does this game work? Well, you try to put in as large of a circle as you can, but don't overlap them, right? Don't overlap the circles. Let's see if you can anchor them as well as you can. All right, there should be one right here. So there's still room, so I can put one here. Again, this is an exercise in a game, but you can actually sort of find where you're recognizing places where you can put more circles. Looks like I could put a few little ones there. Squeeze a few more. We'll get one in there. Maybe another one. Maybe. So when do you know that you're finished? Well, when you can't fit any more circles, but sort of interestingly, there's always a little space that's left, right? There's always this little tiny gap, right? It's basically insurmountable, this gap. All you can do is keep working at it and revealing new gaps. So it really is a lot of fun. So yeah, sketching circles, and this is a fun way to do it, right? Rather than just sort of having them go all over the place, like in my slide example. Some sort of shape, and you fill it up. And then who knows where you could take this sort of a thing, right? Sort of a creative outlet where you're just sort of having a good time with it, but it could lead to something new. I think it really could. So, um, that's a fun one. I really do enjoy it. And you could play it with others, right? You could do a few and then everybody does one. You pass it to the next person till you can't, you know, practically do any more of them, right? So, alrighty, let's see here. I want to share my screen again. Ah, yeah, construct a circle. So again, I think that this would be a really useful exercise. Again, if you sketch it lightly, you could get something that's much, much closer to a circle, right? So I've got this example here. The circle fits inside of the square. That's that's basically what we're just going to demonstrate here for for a brief moment. So go back to the drawing board, as they say. And so I think to perform this exercise and to really get I think all the benefits from it, construct your square, right? And then, we want to find the middle, or we want to find the center of the square. So how do we do that? Well, we're going to use another diagonal line from corner to corner, and we'll find the center that way. All right, so try another diagonal line. Close, it's pretty close. So that should be the center. I want to take this information and move it to the edges. These will give me points where the circle should touch the square. So I'll see if I can't get this circle laid in here. So, and again, I think you can sort of sketch it, you can sort of try to find the arc. Give yourself something to go by. But then I want to think about my posture, right? I was talking about it. Think about my breathing and use as much of my shoulder and arm as I possibly can. Try to get that circle as circular as you possibly can. And if your square is square, then your circle can be more circular. So all this freehand circles down here, they're a little wild, trying our best to sort of to achieve it. But having some constraints will offer you a lot more opportunity to have to find symmetry, to find balance, and constraints can really do that for you. So, um, so yeah, again, practice this a few times, and I think you can really start to internalize what's happening. Again, it seems so simple. It's a challenge to do it, but I think the benefits emerge right through the practice of doing it. So, all right, very good. Let's go back to the screen. 50 ellipses. This will be fun. We can do this. So I think I'll just put them on this same page, and I think you all know how it goes. So I'll leave this up, and let's just draw 50 of these ellipses. All right, you ready? Everybody, begin. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, and I'll switch over to my other hand for the last few. 46, 47, 48, 49, and 50. Good. Great, 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 great. I guess I do always have a lot of fun doing those, and so and it I think it takes some of the anxiousness away, right? You do your exercises and you're going to try to achieve balance. You're going to try to achieve symmetry, and it's likely going to have some little bit that describes how it is you're not quite there yet, because you may not ever quite get there, but at the same time, um, that's that's freedom to know that. It's freedom to know that you're never gonna be perfect, and there's nothing wrong with that, right? So we're all really working to achieve uh, the best possible version that we can. So all right, um, let's check out and see what's next. So again, we just did 50, but this is another way to do your 50, right? You could do them all over the place like I did, or you could certainly do concentrically, right? Like the ripples of a pond. Again, a really fun exercise, because it really grows so quickly. Um, it's shocking, to see how quickly it grows. The size of the ellipse that you'd have to make, how big or how small, depending on which direction, that you put your concentric elliptical shapes in. So, again, really a lot of fun. Um, but we just did it. So so let's move on to the next one. Oh no, it says more ellipses. Ellipses, ellipses, ellipses. What the heck? So many ellipses. Uh, why do so many? What's the point? Well, again, I think it's about practice, right? It's really about practice, and then again, I like to come up with different ways to do it, to try to keep it fun. So, I think this, let's demonstrate this one, because it's fun, but it's also, I think it can be a little complicated. So, all right, so let's see how it goes. So again, I'll start with a circle. I think that's the way I often like to do it. So you could construct a square and then do the circle if you want, or again, just freehand your circle. Hopefully you're getting warmed up. Go around the track a couple times. So you'll start to become balanced. Maybe a little heavy over there or something like that. Um, But again, I think it's, that's a part of all of this is the more that you do these simple exercises, the more familiar that you become with the way that your marks look, right? The way that you make drawings. All right, so I draw a circle. Now I want to draw some ellipses, right? So try my best to place one. All right, there's one. And then I like to start this way usually, but I mean it doesn't matter. Whatever way you like to do it is the right way. All right, there's another one. And then I'll go this way. Excellent. And one more time. Right. Awesome. Yeah, before you know it, you're a human spirograph, right? You can do these. I think again, just similar to some of the other sketches that we've been doing, this could lead to something really interesting, right? I think there's a lot that you could sort of do with this sort of capacity. Again, I think it starts to describe three dimensions too. It really starts to, you can allow your eye to sort of travel to the back, right, or come forward. But of course, you can also think about this as a two-dimensional shape, right? This could be flat, right? Just a height and a width, right? The depth could become something that you could push, right? You could really heighten that effect of depth if you want to. So I think this is a really fun one. And then, since there's five ellipses in there, four in a circle, um, you do 10 of these and then you've done your 50. That's pretty easy, right? So I think have a good time, trying that out. So share my screen again. See the next one. What else we got here? Construct the cylinder. So um, this one is, I think, is especially useful since we're talking about perspective, we're talking about dimension just a little bit with the last exercise. So I'm going to run through how to do this construction, how I like to teach it. So, but I can read for you my brief description here, right? So you start with a central axis, not included in the illustration, but we'll do it on the exercise. And then next you draw two lines and they'll serve as the long axes of the cylinder's ellipses. Use the central axis as their perpendicular bisector. Lastly, sketch two ellipses that fit precisely to the long axes and then connect the sides, right? And then I talk about don't forget to consider eye level, but I think that's all that I'm talking about there is especially with this example you can see on my screen right now. To me, it looks like we're looking down at a cylinder. It looks like I can see the top of the cylinder. Even though I can sort of see through it, it's almost like a glass or something like that. You can see through it slightly, but in terms of its perspective, it appears to be below my eye level. So it feels like I'm looking down at this object. Right? It looks like an object, not just a shape. It feels like it has both height, width, and depth, right? So three dimensions. All right, let's let's give it a let's give it a try. Okay. Uh, just to make it hopefully a bit more clear, I'll save that page for later. Do some more work with that. Just like maybe you saw the very first page that I had earlier. You can let these exercises really start to build up on top of each other because again, it's sort of it's not really about producing anything other than the experience. Um, But you know, if you really want to try to pay attention to your progress and see how things are going, you know, if you're using digital means or, you know, or some cheap paper or something like that, you know, clear the visual field. And so that way you can see, you know, see exactly how things look. So whatever way you do it, I think is the right way. So, okay. So again, so what I like to do for this particular exercise, construct a cylinder. So I like to start with a central axis. So just a line, right? Just a line, vertical line. In this case, and we'll talk about how to do this otherwise. And then I want to try to think about like where these ellipses are going to go. So I'm going to have some perpendicular. And let's see. So I'll measure just real quick. So measure, right? So that's this way I know that let's see, I'll double check it because it looks a little off. Well, yeah, just a little bit off. There. That's a little bit better. So this way I have a real sense that these are equal, that they have equalness. So got a little bit longer. Okay, good. Next, and I'll do another one. So do that up here. We really want like, you know, right angle. Really want to try to achieve a right angle so they're perpendicular. Great. So again, I've already you know, decided that this is how wide it's going to be. Uh, this is this central axis serves as the short axis for the ellipse. So I'm going to draw the sides because I think that's actually quite helpful. So again, I want to try to draw a vertical line that is parallel to the center. All right, very nice. Yeah. So so I'm starting to develop what the shape of the cylinder is going to be. Um, and then so you can try to draw your ellipses as the same size, and I think that's totally fine. If we're thinking about eye level, if eye level is, you know, is above us, right? You know, if eye level is that way, right? Maybe it's up here, wherever. Maybe it's at my eye level itself. Um, the ellipse that's closer to eye level is going to be a little bit more narrow. It's going to be a little narrower. And then the ellipse that's further away from eye level is going to be wider, right? So you can tease out this effect. So what I want to do, I have the same long axis of my ellipse. They're the same, but it's the short one where I can start to manipulate how the perspective of this cylinder will look. So I made a slightly more narrow ellipse on top and then a slightly wider one at the bottom. Just a quick measurement, just to make sure. Pretty good. Okay, it's pretty good. All right, so I will draw my ellipse real quick. All right, there's one, and there is the other one. And there it is. Yeah, so a cylinder. So simple. I get it. Don't want to overcomplicate things, but I think you know, having a basic understanding of how the just the geometry of the cylinder, you know, how it works, I think can be so useful. And you know, so for the sake of the camera and stuff, I can really bring a lot more sort of weight. So think about the line quality, the line weight, and I can get this, you know, I can get this feeling of, again, like the example that we had earlier. We can start to imagine that we're looking sort of down at a cylindrical shape, right? yeah, so eye level will be above us, and we're really sort of looking down at this object. And I think that's it's nice. Um, to practice that, practice that 10 times, and I think you'll really start to get the hang of it, quite well. Um, and so, in the same time, what if you wanted to tip this shape over, right? What if you had a cylinder on its side, like a tire or something like that? You want to try to draw a tire. Well, uh, again, we can use this same sort of idea. So in this case, I'll draw a diagonal line, right? And then again, I really want to try to come up with, this is going to be the central axis of my cylinder. And then I want to try to come up with some long axis I want to try to make it as perpendicular as possible. Get in front of it. It is, personally, I find it a little trickier to find perpendicular on this angle. When it's more vertical and horizontal, it feels more comfortable. Like you can really see it. But as things start to tip, it does become, I think, a little bit more challenging. So, um, but you could always sort of turn your page and draw it, this way if you needed to. But it's good to practice it. So again, I want to try to come up with a perpendicular. Pretty good. Right? So I've gotten the central axis, right? It's going to serve as the short, right? The central axis will be the short axis for the ellipse. And then the long one, right, are these lines here. So just a quick measurement. I'll mark it off and I'll measure. And so what am I doing with measuring? I'm using my pen in this case, and then my thumb to mark off this amount, right? So there's that bit, and I take it to there, and then I know, right? So that way I know that I've measured, I've compared these two amounts to each other, right? And so I can continue to measure, but I'm just going to try my best to sort of make a parallel line, and that's pretty close. All right. Starting to look similar. This is a little bit less. It feels that way. Yeah, it's a little bit less. It's practice, right? Practice makes you experienced. Okay. Again, so we'll start to think about how I want to like lay this out. So in this one, I'll just make the ellipses the same size. So I'm gonna go here and there, right, just for measurement. And I'll do the same on this back side here. Just a quick measurement. Awkward. Yeah. Measure twice and cut once. I heard that somewhere before. Okay, so now I've got everything laid out, and I'll just draw my ellipse in there. Try my best to practice what I preach, and stand nice and with good posture. Breathe. This is just your practice, right? You don't have to, you're not trying to impress anyone. Yeah, and then there's another one. Let's do it. Yeah, so a cylinder on its side. The mystery is no more. Um, and so we can, really start to consider. Again, I'll just sort of add a little bit of line weight so we can really start to feel feel the form of it. And we'll go more heavy around this side here. Yeah, very good. Again, I think there's a lot of uses for this sort of a thing. And if you're, once you get it sketched out, you start to, maybe it's not so perfect, but you sketch it and you get the notion of what you're trying to convey. Then draw it more carefully. Use some tools, use a ruler, or use your iPad, because, with the iPad, with Procreate, or with Photoshop, of course, you could really lay this out, more perfectly than you could do it by hand. But I think just practicing it this way can have a lot of benefits, especially when it comes to sort of the conceptual part of it. So, right. I think I've got more drawing exercises to go, but I really do think that you know this is a really great start. Um, Practice these ones, right? Try to internalize some of the moves and the gestures, and and also maybe some of the some of the ideas, right? This a central axis through your form. Um, where where does the form lie? Like, how can you start to measure things out so you can develop a little bit of balance, a little bit of symmetry? Uh, these are all things that I think are they're really at the heart of what a drawing exercise can do for you. So um, yeah. So we still have Harriet. How's it going? Oh, you're muted.
Right. No, good. I used Procreate and it's a layer on top of layer. So I've got a lot of layers of different things.
That's excellent. And as you're using it, if you move quickly with Procreate, you can, absolutely, get this sketchy appearance. But again, if you leave your pencil, your Apple Pencil on the screen, it will immediately, catch and become a perfect shape, right? So if you practice your ellipse, if you're just moving quickly and you want the sketch, digitally, you can have it. But then again, you can easily start, you could construct things if you have this understanding, you can really sort of move things around. So was it fun? Did you get
Yes,
enjoyment from doing
I really liked your circle with the ellipses in it because you ended up with the square right in the center.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's a good point. Yeah,
that was
it's a
neat.
really good point. You can end up with the square. It might be fun to sort of try them, like making them different, different widths, right? Make bigger ellipses, more narrow, more wide. But I like that. Thank you, for noticing.
Yeah,
Um,
that must have been a perfect one to have it be a circle in the center.
I've drawn them a lot, so I guess I expect better of myself, but at the same time, I also, I know drawing them a lot helps me understand how challenging that this simple stuff can be. It's simple, it's fundamental, but at the same time, there's this insurmountable challenge that's waiting for you right there. And so I really enjoy them. I enjoy the drawing exercises, and I really love drawing them with with others, because I think that ends up being what it's all about. So well, thank you so much for joining, everyone that joined. Elise, so great to see you. And Moms, so great to see you too. Thank you so
Yeah.
much for coming. And again, I want to thank you for watching. If you were drawing along, watching me struggle, again, it's that's uh that's what's fun about these these videos. They can be asynchronous, right? You could watch this again and you could maybe there was something valuable here. Maybe there's something that you could start to practice. And so again, I want to thank Gabe, and And Kyle Bernstein, thank you so much, Kyle, for getting everything set up this week. Very cool. Um, the whole Reinventing the Tattoo crew. Can't wait to watch your shows this week, gang. And last but not least, Guy Atchison. Thank you, Guy. Thank you so much, Guy, for making this community, what it is. And so we really appreciate being a part of it. Well, all right. That's this week's show. I hope you enjoyed it. And,